can't forget to hit record because there's times where I've done that and it's like, right? Well, thanks everyone for coming on the call tonight. Today is December 17th. We are, what Facebook tells me, 7 days away from Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. So I appreciate everyone on the call tonight. I know it's a really busy time. We were so excited to have Emilie on the call. She is a 5-star qualifying diamond coach. She's a Success Club 10 All-Star. She's won the Beachbody Cup twice, not once, but twice. So that is just phenomenal. And I will stop talking and I'm going to let you take it away and kind of maybe tell us your story and just we'll bask in your glow. Does that sound good?
That's perfect. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. And it's crazy. Christmas is coming. I got so much to do, but let's focus on the call. How I got started with Beachbody, really, I first started with Beachbody programs a while ago. Like I owned Turbo Jam, Hip Hop Abs, Slim and Six, and I did some of them, mostly Turbo Jam, but I never really stuck to schedule or anything, and I had no idea about the coaching thing, and it was like 7 or 8 years ago. So I knew about the products, but I had no idea about the whole business aspect of it. When I got pregnant with my son, I saw Turbo Fire infomercial, and I was like, OMG, this is what I'm going to do when I get back in shape. Like, seriously, like this is the only thing I could think of. So not right away, a few weeks after having my son, we were super happy. First kid, not so much sleep, but didn't care because it's the most beautiful thing in the world. And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, I don't really like what I see. So it really motivated me to get started. And we were planning a wedding down south. So I had like huge motivations and I did it on my own. So I had my schedule on my fridge. I had my countdown to Mexico and I was super motivated. And I remember sometimes I was so tired and my husband would be like, well, you don't have to work out, like relax, you should sleep or take a nap. I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is my time. Like I love doing this. It's good for me, makes me feel good. And this is the time I can, spend with myself and have some fun because Turbo Fire is amazing. So I really stuck to the schedule. I was very disciplined with it and I changed my eating habits as well, but I didn't know about Shakeology at the time. So went down south, took pictures on the beach and got back home and my friends saw my pictures. Actually, I got involved in the challenge, some sort of a challenge group, but it wasn't like a structured challenge group. Someone found me online and on Facebook and she saw that I was doing Turbo Fire and she added me as a friend. I was like, who are you? I don't know you. This was my pre-coach life. I was like, I don't know you. I'm not adding you as a friend. So anyways, we started to chat and I was in her group and it was more of a health group and everybody was just like posting their daily activities they were doing. So, and I was very consistent posting and I was very disciplined with it. So before we went down south, she kind of talked to me about the coaching opportunity, but I was so busy, focused, planning our wedding that I was like, this is not the right time. So we got back home and got lots of comments from my friends on like, how did you get back in shape and what did you do and what's that program you were doing? So I was already referring people to Beachbody. And I was like, wait a minute, like, there are coaches out there that are going to help these people, but they were inspired by me and my story. Maybe I could give this a shot. So I had a glass of wine. It was December 26th, the best Boxing Day gift I ever invested in. And I signed up as a coach. I was like, well, it's $40. My husband was like, come on, just do it. Just do it. I had no idea what I was doing, like really no idea. And I just signed up. I just signed up like the basic fee and then I got Shakeology after that and I was very skeptical about it. Like I really knew nothing about shakes or anything. And I just fell in love with the whole thing. And the first thing I did was duplicating what my coach did too. Like I created a health group, a free group, and I invited everybody. So like that's a good way to start especially this time of the year, like I challenge people to like take a New Year's resolution to just, you know, invest in their health. And I said, we're going to challenge each other. And the goal is to like have daily physical activities and eat clean. And that's about it. And in the meantime, people found out I became a coach. So some people got programs off of me and stuff like that. So it started slow. And then I got back to work after my mat leave. And I was a coach for like a month and a half or so. And I got back to work. And the first day was cool. You know, it's like after your summer vacation, when you're done school, you go back to school, you're like, yeah, we're going to see everybody. And then you get some homeworks and you're like, oh, I don't like this anymore. So I kind of felt like that. So first day got back to work. It was great. I was happy to see people. You know, you've been pulled out of society for a year. Gave me a lot of time to think about my life, what I really want to do, because I was pulled out of the daily routine of just like running to work, getting some work done, getting back home and watching TV or whatever. And I really got time to think about my life. And the second day when I brought Leo at daycare, I got back in my car and I completely broke down in tears. And I called my mom and I said, I'm never going to work again. This is not true. This is not what's going to happen. I can't believe this is going to be my life. I don't want to be missing time with my son. Anyways, poor mom. She must have been like, oh gosh. But it was my aha moment. It was when my why kicked in. I liked my job, but I realized that I don't feel happy when someone's in charge of my schedule. And I remember Shalene Johnson mentioned that in one of her seminars or webinars. And I was like, this is it. I don't feel happy when someone's in charge of my schedule. I want to be able to build my schedule around my kids, my family, so I can be there. I like working. Working is not the issue. It was really, you know, the running and the pressure and, you know, like you can't be late and you have to be there for this time. And then you don't want to be late for daycare. And then if your son is sick, I felt terrible taking time off from work because I would never miss a day. And from that day, I told myself, you know what? By this summer, I'm going to be doing this full time. I just spent an amazing summer with my son. There's no way I'm getting locked in my office for another summer. I'm just going to work as much as I can. And my husband was working out of town. So I was alone during the week. We would see each other only on weekends. And that's one of the reasons why we moved out west. And what I would do is I would get up at 4 a.m, get some work done before my son gets up, go to work, get back home. I completely stopped watching TV. I'm a huge hockey fan. Go Habs, go. I don't know what they're doing now. I have no idea. But I mean, I would know everything about the players, and I was really into that, and I completely stopped watching. I just was so focused on making this happen. And I really just never stopped. And how everything came into place, you know, when you have a vision. I had this goal in mind. So weird. My husband got a job offer here out west. And he's like, you know, let's just like, you know, I know you're going to quit your job. So let's just like, you don't have to work. Let's just say that you're going to be at home with Leo and we're going to make it happen. And it's going to be fine. Because he was never home during the week. So our goal was just to be together as a family. So we moved out here, and I, instead of saying, well, I'm gonna like be at home with Leo, which is like amazing. I mean, like being a stay-at-home mom is like amazing, and it's a job itself. But I took the opportunity to really like be like, okay, this is it. This is my shot. This is the time I'm gonna. And I wasn't making so much money. Like I didn't have a huge team or anything, but I just like was very consistent and never stopped since then. And it's gonna be 2 years on December 26th.
Wow.
I talked a lot. I have no idea how much time I spent talking.
You're good. You're good. No, you didn't talk too long. It's so funny that you say that about TV. And I mean, I think that all coaches can kind of relate. Like when you decide you're going all in, like TV is just like, what is TV? You know?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because a lot of times when people will say to me, well, I don't have time, I don't have this. I'm like, well, how much TV are you watching a week, right? Like, same thing with people's workouts. I mean, like, it's half an hour. Don't watch a rerun of Friends. You know what I mean? Like,
It's all about choices. It's true. It's so true. And you don't realize it because we're so used to that. Like, just turn the TV on, and I just can't stand it anymore. Like, my son has his shows, and that's about it. And I'm like, okay, no.
I know. Hey. Yeah, so I mean, like this, it's so funny that the way that we get started in this, and I think that everyone starts off with being so skeptical about Shakeology and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, you talk to everyone who's like just become a coach. There's so many people who sign up for like $40 and then they like realize like, oh, okay. And then they get, Shakeology and like they didn't even get a challenge pack, right? So then they're spending this and then they spend this. And it's funny because a lot of the people that I talk to too, they'll be like, well, I should have just did it all at the beginning like you told me to, right?
Yeah.
You need that belief, right?
But it's true, yeah, because if you're like, I see it like in my challenge groups, people that become coaches and they're from challenge groups, they're just natural coaches. Like, I mean, they've been through the experience, they just fall. You don't have to convince anyone. Like, when they fall in love and they get results and they like the whole concept of like supporting each other through a group, they're just like all in from day one. Like, I mean, and everybody's got their own, goals. And I tell all my coaches, I'm like, no goal is wrong. Whatever you choose to focus on, we're going to work around that. And if it's just to pay your Shakeology or just to be part of the community, because, hey, we rock. I mean,
we totally do. I mean, you couldn't have said it better. We totally rock, right? And it's funny, like we're not on the same team or anything, but I just think it's so awesome that there's just such a community of Beachbody that it doesn't matter, right? Like it's all about coming together and helping people and changing lives. And that's what I really love about it.
yes.
I've got so many questions today. So when I was, talking to my team about having you on the call and stuff, I'm like, so, is there anything you want to ask her? Like, what do you want to know? And everybody wants to know how you got your abs after having your 2 kids. Everyone's like, man, those abs, like, what did she do? So share your secret.
No, I'm just kidding. No. Invest in a good, no. Seriously, I don't know. I think my body reacts really well to cardio, and I just lose a lot of fat. And I train mean. I do. Like, I train hard. Sometimes my nutrition is not always A1. I do have a very, like, I would, like Shanti would say, like 15% fun, 85% clean. That's pretty much what I do. Okay. But sometimes the 15% happens in all weekends. But really, I didn't do like ab work or anything. Like, I used to be like, years ago, I'd be like, every January 1st, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do 50 sit-ups a day, and in 1 month I'll have a 6-pack. And it never happened. So really what I did after having Callie, I was active pretty much during all my pregnancy. So I was working out pretty much all the time, except for the first few months. But I stayed active, which I didn't do for Leo. Mm-hmm. And when I got back to working out, I started slow, did a bit of T25, low impact, and then I did 21-day fix. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't stick to the nutrition perfectly, but I kind of eat like that naturally, except for the yellows. But
you love yellows? Is yellows your favorite container? Yeah.
Yeah. Especially that I'm not a big meat eater, so I get a lot of protein with carbs. And so I guess my body doesn't really react so bad to carbs. But yeah, so I did 21-day fix, and then I did Insanity, the whole 60 days.
Wow.
And Insanity is just, that's what really got me back in shape after my first pregnancy. I did Turbo Fire, then I did a month of Insanity, and it just got me shredded. So I didn't really do crunches or anything. I just followed the programs and yeah.
That's awesome. It doesn't, whatever, it works for you, right? Like that's what you got to do. It works.
That's so funny. I need to tell that to my husband. You know the first question they ask?
Your abs. Tell us how you got your abs.
That's my trademark.
It's awesome. And I think that, you know, I have a lot of moms on my team and it's really just, I think it's so awesome that women can support each other and not say, oh, like, look at her and all that kind of stuff. Because that's not what it's about, right? It's
no, but I think when you feel good about yourself, because I'm not going to lie, I used to be that girl that would envy other girls because I wasn't comfortable with my own body. Mm-hmm. But you know, and before I got into fitness, I wasn't really like, I would look at those fit girls and probably think, oh my God, I got too much muscle. But it's funny how your perception changes because now I know the hard work. Like I don't see just a body, I see dedication, I see discipline. And that's what I admire that a lot. Like I have huge respect for all athletes. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think if you're criticizing other women, it's because you don't feel comfortable with your own body. You can't envy them. They worked for it.
Totally. And I think it's so important that you said that. Like it's very different now, the way that your perspective changes once you realize how much work goes into it. And yeah, I mean, I think we talk a lot about like physical transformations and stuff, but that shift that happens, you know, all the personal development we do, and you know the work that goes into it, it just changes you, right? Like
absolutely,
that's what's so cool. So you told me to hammer you with questions, so I've got questions that you know are outside of your whole ab situation there. And well, I'll go into them, and you feel free to enlighten us. Okay, so who are 2 or 3 people in the business that you're inspired by?
That's good. Just 2 or 3. So many. Wow. Obviously, I'm inspired a lot by Miguel. I'm not going to lie. And I got to chat with him, too, at the beginning. And I just think he's so genuine and has been very helpful, like, from day one. I'm inspired by him. I'm inspired by... But I love Melanie Mitchell. I think she, obviously, like, that's the obvious name. I could put that out there. But I admire her so much. I watch her videos. I'm like, this girl is so organized. Like, I'm like, she does so many things. She's not sleeping. She's not sleeping. And I'm like, every time I see something, I'm like, oh my goodness. I just feel so inspired to see all the possibilities there are with this business. Like, and when I see something like what she's doing, instead of thinking, oh my goodness, like I'm doing it wrong, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's so much more to be done. Like, I'm just scratching the surface. There's so many things I could be doing and so many ways and avenues. So I'm very inspired by her. I have other coaches in our upline I just like to chat with. I'm inspired by people on my team that they're just like running with it, and I see them achieving their goals, and it's making me very, very proud and happy to see them grow. And so if I want to put names out there, that like all the people in Canada, like really, like all the ones that are like really killing it right now, I'm like, this is so cool. Like we came out of nowhere and we're just like, the Beachbody corporate must be like, what's up, Canada? What's going on?
Totally.
I think everybody, like everyone I get to meet that they're passionate about what they're doing, I'm inspired by. Like, I'm inspired by passion a lot. So anyone like that's putting their heart out there, I just have so much respect, and it gives me energy, and it makes me want to do even more and become better myself. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So what would you say your personal passion project is right now? Like, what are you working on personally that really that motivates you?
I really enjoy, like right now my business is shifting, obviously, because now I have more leaders on my team, and I'm really focusing more on calls with my coaches and trying to help them reaching their own goals. And I'm really more like on the leadership aspect of it. So I do a lot of personal development around that. And like I wouldn't say it's a specific project, but I really want to be becoming like more of a leader, like, because I was a lot on like the challenger side, and I love that, and I'm still gonna do challenge groups, and I'm still, you know, hitting Success Club and getting people involved and stuff. But I'm really like shifting more towards like building leaders on our team. And I don't like saying building leaders because I don't feel like I'm building leaders. I mean, they're building it, but it's just really cool to get. So now we have our diamond group, and we're exchanging a lot more, and I want to like shift more on the leadership aspect of it.
It's interesting to see the shift because it does start out that way. And I mean, there are a lot of coaches on this call who maybe not are even Emerald, but you'll notice in your businesses when you focus on, and that's how you start, right? You focus on getting challengers, you focus on, you know, building your team that way, and then it kind of takes off, right? If you keep doing all the 3 vital behaviors and you have team calls and you really nourish people, right? It's interesting, the shift that happens. And it's so neat that you're seeing that in your own team right now. I've been able to see it kind of with Miguel's team and now with my team too. So it's really neat, the progression that happens.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, like it's very cool. So you talked a lot about personal development. What are you reading right now?
I'm reading 2 books. I like to read, like in the morning, I like to read more of a business-oriented book, and sometimes at night it's more like a chill, peaceful, spiritual book. But it's not always like that, but it's kind of like, it gets me in the mood to go to bed.
Yeah.
And in the morning, I'm reading the 4-Hour Week.
Okay.
And at night, I'm reading The Power of Intention. I don't do much reading. I must say, sometimes I really get into it. Like I can read like 45 minutes to an hour, but sometimes it's just like 15, 20, 30 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. I do audios all the time in my car.
Yeah.
So in my car right now, I have the whole series of, I think my son was coming in.
It's okay, most of us are moms. We know, it's all good.
Yes, that's right. I'm a huge fan of Jim Rohn, Exceptional Living. This has got to be my top everything. I mean, I know it pretty much by heart. I have it on iTunes, so when I'm inside the house, like I'm cooking, it's always on. Or if I go out, I have it in my car. I have the 7 Habits of Successful People. What I'm missing is, I have Zig Ziglar too in my car. So I kind of switch around, but there's always something playing. But yeah, I really try to get as much personal development as I can. Like usually, and I just posted a video about that on my team page. I was like, okay, I want you to develop a personal development habit. Like when you're doing laundry or you're cooking, you're like, you know, use your time wisely. And I usually have my lunch in front of my computer and I watch YouTube videos from top coaches. And, but yeah, so that's what I'm reading right now.
Awesome. What would you say the 3 things are that you did that changed your business?
Social media.
Okay.
I really, I attracted a lot of people. I built a bigger network with my page. I think that's been a very successful thing I've been doing, like adding new contacts and attracting people to me. So not really having to invite so much anymore. I shouldn't say that, but you know, I get new people to talk to me every single day that come and ask me, how'd you get your abs? But, you know, so that's one thing I think I've been doing pretty good that helped me a lot. Consistency. I don't think there was a day, I think there actually was only one day, but I couldn't even say I didn't check. I must have been on my phone at least once, but I mean, like I was always, I think there was one day when I got back east, yeah, that's right, and I said, hey, I did not work today. I'm not working with my family, and I didn't touch any technology or some sort. But yeah, every single day I've been, and I would post my basics daily, like, and it was something religious to me, you know, like I would have my 2 invites a day. I would have like my new contacts. I would have my personal development, my workout. I remember I used to post that in my upline group before I started my own. And I would go to bed sometimes and be like, oh, I didn't post my basics. And I would get up and I would go right, because like, I don't know, I was very disciplined. So that's another thing, consistency. And let me just try to find one. I know what I'm trying to think. You know, not expecting like results right away. I never really was discouraged by the fact that I didn't have like results right away, like meaning like paychecks or like I really think I think it's because I saw the bigger picture from day one. Like I never really questioned myself, and yes, there have been days where it was harder, but I couldn't say that I really ever thought of giving up. Like this was never an option, really. And this might sound cliche, but I would want to do this without the paycheck or anything. Like I love this. I feel like I was born to do something like that. Like I don't know if it's the people aspect of it, the communication aspect of it. Communication would be something good. That's something I'm good at. Yeah, my communication with my messages, using the 5-step invitation, but like making it my own, and really building relationships and choosing words wisely, adapting my messages. And yeah, I think that would be 3-4 things.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is, you know, I always like to hear this from successful people, because often, you know, you've had things that haven't worked out, things that, you know, you might have felt that you failed at, but you took something away from it and you got better. Is there something that you can maybe think of that you maybe felt at the time was a failure, and now how did you turn it around and learn from it?
I want to find something, because it would be like pretty, no, I never failed. No. I think, no, there has been many times. I think I fail a lot, and I keep on failing on not being as good as a coach as I want to be for my challengers. And something I realized recently, and that I think I failed for that, and I'm gonna open myself to you guys. I felt like I was not investing enough in people that were getting in my challenge groups, and like spending time getting to know them outside of the challenge group. And I really started to like make more time for them and be like, you know what, they said yes already. My responsibility is to invest, like to help them as much as I can, and give them a better support system. Because and I realized, like, you know, in your challenge groups, it's really nice to program your posts and everything, but that's not what it's about. I mean, I'm very more of a spontaneous person, and like if I want to get a feel of what's going on in the group, and then I'm going to post accordingly, and then I'm going to follow up. And I think I realized not long ago that sometimes I was like, oh, this group's not working so well, like what's going on? But I realized that sometimes I was not investing myself as much as I could have. And especially in Team Cup months, because you're so focused on getting people. Like, oh, I have a challenge group starting, but I have to sell 10 challenge packs today. No, that's a business aspect of it, and you don't want to take away from the people aspect. So I want to, I can admit that I failed for that. And even for my coaches on my team, I apologize. No, but I was kind of like, I went through a shift where And I think I got a really light that lit on after watching those videos from Summit conferences, because I was at Summit, but I had a 15 days old girl, so I did not attend all of the conferences, but I watched them all on the Coach Online office. And I think it was Christine Dwyer, who I admire a lot. She said something like, you can't just say, oh, I figured it out, so they're going to figure it out themselves. No. And I kind of was a bit like that. At first I was like, well, I figured it out. Like, I'm just going to work with people that are figuring it out. But then I realized that you have to meet people where they are, and it's not because they're not figuring it out right now the way that you did that they're not going to like not produce, but like grow into something even bigger than you ever become yourself, you know? So yeah, things like that.
Awesome. No, I think that's very true. That's very true. All right. So I'm sure that you have your goals for next year. Do you want to share one of them with us?
Well, I have a few goals. I have a few goals that are more like related to our whole organization. Like I want to have people that are doing really, really well by Summit, and I have goals like more of the like team goals. Like I want to have like 5-star diamonds, and it doesn't matter who they like, if they're my coaches or not. So I would like to have like people that are doing really well growing their business by Summit. Personal goal, and I'm talking to Arnaud Nakaha, and he's kind of like making me see things that I didn't even think of. So I don't want to say it because I want to commit myself, but I do have a goal to be a 15-star diamond by Summit.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really close to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, and 11. So I got a lot of work to do.
But I mean, it's been exploding. Like you are just
there's a lot of tricky things, and like not tricky, but very like strategic ways of running this business that I'm not aware of. Like there's so much to learn. Like so, like I'm not too sure exactly where I want to go with all of that. You know, star diamonds and I have no idea like about opening my second business center. I'm like, okay, this is gonna happen, but I better get to know what I'm doing. One of a general goal would be to get to know the business, that aspect of the business that I'm not really fully aware of right now, like all those tricks and like strategic things I can do.
Awesome. So I guess maybe one of my last questions that I'll ask for tonight, if you could give a new coach or someone who's just started the business, or maybe someone who's been in the business a long time, but they just haven't been able to get off the ground, any type of advice, what would you tell them?
Be yourself and be proud of it and show the world who you are. Like seriously. And this is authenticity is gonna grab people's attention, and not everybody's attention, but people like you. Mm-hmm. And this is what's amazing about this business. No, this is because there's so many things amazing about this business, but one of the things I think is amazing is that you get to work with people that are not exactly like you, but they have the same values, they have a vision that resembles yours. So you don't have, like, it's like, that's why they're friends right away. Like, I feel like I meet people, I barely talk to them, and then I'm like, you're my friend. Like, we could hang out, like, come to my place and we're gonna chill, because you attract people like you. So really, and that's where the personal development, I think, takes all of its meaning, is really being proud of who you are and just being genuine and authentic. That would be like, I know it sounds general, but that's one of the tips I would give.
That's awesome. No, I love it. I think it's one thing that you develop over time when you become a coach, is that you finally realize that you're like, okay, like I have to be me. Like I can't be like someone else, because that's not going to work for my team, right? Like you're not.
Yeah, and it takes time though, but you're so right because, and I say that to my team sometimes, you're gonna find your colors, you know, like, and I work a lot with my page and I build my brand. And I think that's where, and that's what I mean by being yourself, like in your post, the way you post, like, don't post like general fitness pictures that don't mean anything to you. Like, tell a story, like tell your story through the post. And you might not be a good writer or anything, but focus on your strengths, your talents, and broadcast that to the world. Like, focus on what you're good at, what you love. It shouldn't have to do anything with fitness, actually. Like, there's gotta be other things you're passionate about, or maybe not, and that's okay. But if it's only fitness, then find a way to make it special, because you are your business. So if you think from a business mind, you want to differentiate yourself from all the other coaches out there. Totally. So you really want to make it personal and make it your own.
I love that. I think it's so true. What we're going to do before we close out this call is I'm going to put everyone on screen here. Now, everyone gets really mad when I take pictures of Zoom calls and they're not ready, right?
I never done that on mine, so like, what do you do? Like, you have to.
I take my phone and I take a picture.
And how do you put all the screens on, though?
I put it on. There's like a button at the top. Can you see everyone?
You see gallery view. Like, no.
So, everyone, if you want to look your best, I'm going to take a picture. It's going to be Facebook worthy because I'm putting it on Facebook. So smile. I'm going to take a whole bunch, and then hopefully when no one is, nice, Danny, nice. So yeah, no, Emilie, I just want to, is there anything else you want to add from the call tonight? Like, I think that you touched upon so many important things, and I think it's really good for people to see that, everyone starts with, no coaches. Everyone starts with building their team with challengers. Everyone kind of like does the things that you did, right? So it's just really neat to see the progression that you've had so much success. And I appreciate you coming on the call and sharing your time with us. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, thank you, first of all. Thank you so much, because like I really enjoy doing this, and it's just like, it's a lot of fun, and I'm happy. If this can help you, then I'm really, really happy. And if there's one thing I can think of that makes a whole difference in your life, and that's something I learned from the first book I read when I did my personal development as a coach, is to be responsible for your life. Accept full responsibility, no excuses. Everybody's got crazy stories out there. Two people can have the same story. One's going to stand out, the other one's going to crash. I mean, it's not about your circumstances. It's not about what happens to you. It's what you do about it. And you can change your life if you decide to be fully responsible for everything that's happening. So that's something that's been huge to me, not making any excuses and assuming responsibility for my life.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, thanks so much for coming on the call. And I've got it recorded, Emilie, so I'll send you a copy if you want it. And until next time I see you, hopefully I'll see you in Cancun. Are you coming?
Yes.
Awesome. Can't wait for it. It's going to be fabulous, guys. And thanks so much for taking time out of your night, and have a wonderful night. And if I don't talk to you soon, have a great Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.